All right, so before I get things started, I wanted to point out this is natural light. This is sunlight. Very rarely seen in this neck of the woods. So it looks like it's spring. Actual spring. I'm mildly excited about that. Because winter sucked. So, that being said, let's go ahead and jump into things. Tonight, the Ottawa Senators will be in Vancouver for their one meeting of the year. And I almost got tickets to this game, but Wednesday is a busy day. And we don't really have the time for me to go to a game on a Wednesday. So, I didn't. But the tickets were not overly expensive, and I think if you're in the Vancouver area and you want to go to a Vancouver game, this might be the cheapest ticket you're going to get for the season. That being said, Arizona, Carolina, some Dallas. There's been some cheap games this year, but this one might be the cheapest. Which is around, I want to say $50 for the cheapest ticket, probably. Anyhow, $49. 25, 41, and 6 is the record for the Ottawa Senators. Vancouver's 31, 32, and 10. Both teams predictably out of the playoffs. The unpredictable part is how much. Ottawa's 28 points out. That was predicted. Vancouver is 6 points out. That was not. Now, in the month of March, Ottawa's 3, 4, and 1. So they've shown some fight and some spoilerific abilities. Whereas Vancouver's 4, 3, and 1. They've also been playing spoiler. They're close enough to the playoffs that the players will still talk about making the playoffs, even if they don't realistically believe they're going to make the playoffs. Now, Vancouver won this meeting in Ottawa, so they're going for the season sweep now with the game at home. They're definitely better at home than they are on the road. And so here we go. Over their last 10 games, the Ottawa Senators, Brady Tkachuk, 2 goals, 3 assists. Chris Tierney, 3 goals and 2 assists. Smith, 2 goals, 4 assists. Gibbons, 3 goals, 3 assists. Duclair, 3 goals, 3 assists. Christian Wolanin, goal and 3 assists for him. CC with a goal and 3 assists. And as was stated in the game I was watching the other night, with Wolanin, for people my age, or in the case of the color guy who was talking about it, if you played with him, you're allowed to say Craig Wolanin once. You only get to say it once. So, and at some point I'll call him Craig Wolanin. I know I will. On the Vancouver side, and then the kids are going to be like, who's Craig Wolanin? I'll be like, oh, I'm so old. Bo Horvat, 2 goals, 4 assists for the Canucks. Pettersson, a goal and 4 assists. Besser, 2 goals, 7 assists. Tyler Mott with 2 goals. Pearson, 2 goals and an assist for him. It definitely feels like there's a chance he could stay in the lineup for next year. There's also a chance that Benning could move him out. Edler, 3 goals, 2 assists, and Stetcher with an assist in their last 10 games. No confirmation on goaltenders, so I'll speculate. Nilsson, I'll say for Ottawa. He's 3-2 with a .918 save percentage. Anderson, 0-4-1 with an .893 save percentage. That's in their last 10 games. Whereas on the Vancouver side, I'll say Markstrom. That being said, maybe Demko against Nelson, because Demko took Nelson's job, right? Demko's 1-2 with an .896 save percentage in their last 10, whereas Markstrom's 3-2 with a .929 save percentage. So, Nilsson versus Markstrom would be fun, since that was the goaltending tandem in Vancouver recently. But we'll see what they do. Next up, the Winnipeg Jets, 43-25-4, in against the 30-35-9 Anaheim Ducks, a team that they're done, but they may very well not think that they're done. Now, for Winnipeg, they've got to avoid that dreaded trap scenario. No, I don't have an Akbar on the board because I don't see this really as a trap game. They should be well aware that Anaheim's playing well in the month of March. Now, for Winnipeg, they're first in the Central. But there's a ladder, and it's a very tightly wound one. They're only 1 point ahead of Nashville. They're 6 points ahead of St. Louis and 8 points ahead of Dallas. So there's 8 points separating first from fourth in the Central. It is a very tight pack that they've got going there. Now, on the Anaheim side, they're 9 points out of the playoffs. The odds of them making the playoffs are minuscule, but the players haven't given up. And why should they? You've got to go into a game feeling like there's something on the line. So when these players say this, yeah, I have no problem saying, yeah, they're not going to make it. But at the same time, I get why they have to go into the game with that mentality of, we got to win our games and, take our chances. Winnipeg has won both meetings with the Ducks this year. We'll see if they can make it 3 straight. It is not easy to win in California most years. This year it's been a little easier than most. We'll see if Anaheim starts changing that narrative towards the end of the year here. Over their last 10 games, Blake Wheeler, 8 goals, 8 assists. Kevin Hayes, 3 goals, 3 assists. Connor has 4 goals and 3 assists. Perreault, 3 goals, 3 assists. Ehlers, 2 goals, 4 assists. Myers, 2 goals and 3 assists. And Beaulieu, 3 assists in the last 10 games for the Winnipeg Jets. On the Anaheim side, Getzlaf, 2 goals, 5 assists. Sprong, 4 goals, 1 assist. Raquel, 2 goals, 5 assists. Silverberg has 6 goals and 4 assists. He's been excellent over their last 10. Another example of a guy who, after signing the contract extension, seems to have started playing better. Henrique, 5 goals and an assist. Fowler, a goal and 5 assists. And Hampus Lindholm, a goal and 2 assists for him on the Anaheim blue line. Goaltenders, no confirmation here either. Time to speculate. Brossoit, maybe? And I say that because, it's Anaheim. It's one of the lower-rated teams. Do you want to give Hellebuck a bit of a rest going into the playoffs? He's played a lot. He's 3-3 in their last 10 with a .916 save percentage. Brossoit's 3-1 with a .919 save percentage, so they have been resting him. Maybe he plays tonight. I would expect Gibson for Anaheim. Over their last 10, he's 5-2 with a .931 save percentage. Miller's 1-2 with an .861 save percentage over that same period. So I will say Gibson. I would be very surprised if it's not Gibson. And on the side of the Winnipeg Jets, they seem to be figuring this out. They've definitely been better over the last week or so. And if they can lock things down defensively, that's the good thing, is that Anaheim's not a team that scores goals, so that may very well help them as well. All kidding aside, it should be a good game, close game. I would think low scoring, but every time I say low scoring, usually it isn't. Toronto and Buffalo. Toronto is overdue for kind of a big night. The frustration has to be huge right now for Toronto, because they're watching now as Boston's got 6 points ahead of them. With a win tonight, they can get within 4. With a loss tonight, especially in regulation, it's pretty much over in terms of hopes of them getting home ice in the first round. And I don't favor them against Boston if Boston has Game 7 at home. Now, they're 43-25-5. Buffalo's 31-32-9. And for Toronto, it's interesting because, they add Tavares. And I really thought that Toronto would get better this year. I predicted they were going to win the President's Trophy this year. I thought they would be the best team in the league. There's something missing with Toronto, and I'm not sure if it's just a matter of their defense or if it's goaltending issues that have propped up over the last few weeks here. There just feels like there's something missing with Toronto. We'll see if they can get it all straightened out. Now, they are third in the Atlantic, 6 behind Boston, whereas Buffalo's 13 points out of the playoffs. In the month of March, Toronto is 4-4-1. Buffalo, 2-6-1 in the month of March. Toronto's won all 3 meetings with Buffalo. Remember when Buffalo owned Toronto? That's done. Toronto is the one that owns Buffalo this year. Now, overall in their last 10 games, it's interesting that, and I don't have Matthews on the board, but he's got, I think it's 7 points in their last 10 games. Tavares, 4 goals, 7 assists. Marner, 2 goals and 9 assists. Kadri, 4 assists. Kadri's a guy who I think they need him to step up and score some goals. And we'll see if he does that for them. He's streaky. Marleau, a goal and 2 assists. Connor Brown, a goal and 2 assists as well. Nikita Zaitsev, a goal and 3 assists. And Morgan Riley with 5 goals and 2 assists. If Kyle Dubas decides he needs to free up some money, finding somebody to take that last year of Marleau's contract could help. I'm just throwing that out there. Now on the Buffalo side, Skinner, a goal and 2 assists in their last 10 games. Sherry, 4 goals, 3 assists. Sobotka, who's probably on his way out with a goal. Larson, a goal and 1 assist. And Reinhardt, who is really doing quite well. He's got 2 assists in their last 10 games. Montour, who they picked up from the Ducks, 2 goals, 3 assists. Bogosian, 1 goal and 2 assists. Goaltenders, there's a confirmation on the Buffalo side, not on Toronto's. Anderson, No. Anderson played last night, so Sparks. Anderson's 4-2-1 with an .886 save percentage in their last 10 games. Sparks is 0-3 with an .884 save percentage. So that's not good news if you're a Leafs fan. On the Buffalo side, Carter Hutton will be the starter. He's 1-3-1 in their last 10 with a .910 save percentage. Linus Ullmark is 1-4 with an .887 save percentage. So Hutton has the best numbers out of 4 goalies in this matchup. Toronto has to win. Toronto, and I'm not saying that because they have to win to get a chance for catching up to Boston. They need this. Their confidence needs this. There's something that just seems to be dogging them right now, and if they can come out tonight against Buffalo and win the game, say like 5-1, maybe 6-2. Get a good feeling going, because going into the playoffs, it's okay to kind of stumble your way into the playoffs. It's when a team's kind of stumbling its way in, and you can kind of see that there's some issues with their game as well that they're going to need to fix. And for Toronto, there's a lot of work, I think, for Mike Babcock to do here. That being said, moving along. Tampa. So the President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning, 56-13-4. Their record's been ridiculous for so long, I don't really even pay much attention to the numbers. They've already set a team high in wins in a season. They've already won the President's Trophy. The Washington Capitals, 43-23-7. The Capitals are having a good year, and they seem to be peaking at the right time. So while their record and Toronto's is very close, they just have 2 overtime losses where Toronto has regulation losses. Other than that, they're the same. It just feels like Washington's going in the right direction right now. The Capitals are first in the Metro now. They're 2 points ahead of New York. 4 points ahead, and that's the Islanders, not the Rangers, I guess. 4 points ahead of Pittsburgh and 6 points ahead of Carolina. I apologize to any Rangers fans that go, we're within 2 points of the first place. Wow, how did we do that? We lost to Detroit last night. In the month of March, Tampa's 7-1, whereas Washington's 7-2. Now, Washington's coming off of a game last night, and now they get Tampa on the back end of a back-to-back. That's not really good news for Washington. And yet, Tampa's clinched. They don't need this game. It feels like they want it, though. The one thing that's impressed me with Tampa over the last couple of weeks, they could coast. They're not coasting. Now, if they flame out in the first round, we'll revisit that. But for right now, they're not coasting. Over their last 10 games, Stamkos, 3 goals, 4 assists. Braden Point, 2 goals, 6 assists. Kucherov, 5 goals and 11 assists. Killorn, 3 goals, 4 assists. Cirelli, 3 goals, 5 assists. Victor Hedman, must know it's playoff time coming up. He's scoring a bunch now. 3 goals and 7 assists. And Ryan McDonough with 2 goals and 4 assists to round things out for Tampa. On the Washington side, Kuznetsov, 3 goals, 5 assists. Backstrom, 3 goals, 7 assists. Burakovsky, 4 goals and 1 assist. Dowd with 3 assists. Eller, 4 goals, 2 assists. And on the blue line, Kempny has 5 assists. Matt Niskanen has a single assist in their last 10 games. Goaltenders, again, no confirmation. It's too early in the day. Vasilevsky, 7-1 in their last 10 with a .929 save percentage. I expect him here against the Capitals. Demang's 1-1 with a .908 save percentage in their last 10. Holtby's going to play tonight. I don't need a confirmation on Daily Faceoff to know it, because Copley played last night. Holtby 6-2 with a .914 save percentage in their last 10. Copley is 2-0 with a .964 save percentage over that same period of time. So for Washington, this is a chance for them to get 4 points ahead of the idle New York Islanders. And for the Islanders and their fans, tonight you are big Tampa Bay Lightning fans. And probably for Pittsburgh fans as well. Pittsburgh is within striking distance, but Washington has that game in hand, and this is it. I believe it's just one. I think it's just, let me see, 43-23. Yeah, it's one game in hand. This is it. So if they can win this, they can get 6 points ahead of Pittsburgh, 8 points ahead of Carolina. Draws them out kind of nicely ahead of them. If not, you're leaving the window open for those teams. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just tap it upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.